What's going on, everybody? Welcome back for another video. Sure hope you guys had a great weekend. We did have a little bit of a whiplash with I don't know, these prices going up and down, up and down, up and down. A lot of longs and shorts getting completely wrecked. I just don't know how people really have the nerves of steel to actually just leverage during these volatility times. So, but anyways, I mean, I guess more power to them. Anyways, we're refreshing this Bitcoin, $107,000. So it's been going up a little bit as of late, but I don't even know. Like this thing goes up to 107, then it drops back to 104, 5, then it goes up again, 107, then it goes back down. I mean, a lot of uncertainty. It's like the bears and the bulls are just fighting it out over here. And we're gonna see a post on X about Bitcoin in a moment now, but it's just to kind of look at the market. It's just pretty much not much going on. I know you see the green, but it's so insignificant that it's really maybe here Trump, right, 7%, Fartcoin 8%, but I mean everything else. Look at this. So I don't know. Maybe it's the start of something, or maybe not. And of course, if you look at the last 7 days, a lot of wreckage going on over here. You know, so it's just pretty, you know, uncertain times at the moment. Well, over here, I don't know. This wrecked. I don't know. This is probably new, and I don't know. Probably some cabal. Uh, the chicken here, the COQ, Cockinu, 22% up. And this Mubarak. Let's see. And Pepecoin over here also. Another one just completely hammered the last 7 days. Okay, just like most tokens. It's trying to turn around here, but still presenting as an opportunity if you still believe in the project, and you still think these prices are a complete steal, and by all means. But none of this is financial advice. I continue to DCA around these prices, but I mean, you guys know I've been doing this for quite some time. And if we look at, see, Book of Ethereum a little bit in the green, and a chunk here, chunk is just practically like a lot of the other projects, just barely in the green. Sui, Desi Sui, this is GameStop, 6% in the red. Based AI also 5% in the red. And Kekistan also 11% in the red. All right. So let's continue here, and we're going to talk a little bit about Cosmic Pond. And I still don't know that much about it. I know that one of the community members, Fred, he has been, I mean, his posts, I see his posts all over the place on Twitter or X. And man, he has been into this probably since the very beginning. He got a whole bunch of NFTs, and he's very, very into this. But like I said, what I found really, really cool about this is, man, like they have this whole storyline, okay? and the characters, they all play a part, right, in this story. And there was 1,000 NFTs, if I'm not mistaken, that got minted. If I'm not mistaken, I think this was the project that dished out, I don't know how many Pepecoins, based AI. They gave away a lot of rewards. And it was just for the people that were following, the storyline, and, it was kind of almost testing the people that were, following it. I just have not been having the time. I'm barely making 1 to 2 videos a week. So honestly, I just haven't been, following all this. But but I decided now to actually at least, give a shout out to the Cosmic Pond. And today I was seeing, I don't know how many days ago or if it was just recently, that now they airdropped the true forms, okay, of the characters. And here it tells you the NFT collection. It was 1,000. The astrotoads are common. There's 600 of them, so 60%. And then here it just breaks it down, right? Then this Cypherian's matrix, the energy fueling this project and community, okay, functions as a brain within the base blockchain to ensure the ecosystem is evolving and growing beyond measurable outcomes. The pond doesn't stop. Then here, the Rivet tokenomics. So this is going to be the token, okay, of this project, Rivet. And it's going to have a total supply of 1 million. 90% it's going to be staking rewards, okay, for the NFT holders, 10% for developers, and then you guys could check these things out. And the roadmap, so the 1,000 NFTs were minted already. The Rivet token launch, I believe, was released. The lore book release, don't know if this also got released, but I definitely know that this is the latest, okay, the full identity mint, which is what these guys, their true form, I guess you could say. Okay, and I think this is what's coming next, this Dust token launch. But for those of you guys that are interested in something fun, I guess, I mean, maybe it's a little too late, but you guys can always maybe, I don't know, talk to some community members that maybe are willing to sell you some of these NFTs if you want to follow this story and, the whole nine. Because what I was reading on X is that this thing doesn't just end here. Like they have a lot of like cool things, down the pike. So, but definitely worth a shot to look at it if you're holding a Cosmic Pond, okay, NFT. You probably got an airdrop, so check your wallet. All right. And that's that with Cosmic Pond. Now let's take a look at this post. And this is gonna resonate with Based AI and Pepecoin and the such. So WhalePanda here normally posts information about Bitcoin, and so it's mainly Bitcoin news. And it got quite a bit of a following, 302,000 followers. So he wrote here, you're not allowed to ask where the Bitcoin supply is coming from. BTC cleared $100,000 multiple times. Now, for the last 2 weeks, it's stuck at 94,000 with M2 exploding. Stocks up and gold up. $4 billion of ETF buys, $1 billion of seller buys, but you're not allowed to question it. And you see, and where I'm trying to get at with this is some people get concerned, right? There's certain things, you know, that there is manipulation going on, okay, behind the scenes. You know it. It is just unfortunately part of the game. And Bitcoin is not immune to it, right? And I feel what WhalePanda here is saying, and it is true. Sometimes you just like, there's so many purchases going in, and it's like there's no movement. None. Zero. Zip. And you're going to tell me that there is $5 billion worth of people selling? I don't know. But they, the concern here is that there's some manipulation where there is paper, quote unquote, paper Bitcoin. And it's almost like just buying and selling IOUs. I don't know. I don't know how true that is, but it's definitely some conspiracy theory going on out there. Some people concerned with the Bitcoin supply because it is very limited. It's, how many Bitcoin is it that are being mined a day? I don't know. It's very little that's being mined a day. I don't know if it's like 450, okay, that are being mined per day. And just Seller alone is buying, God knows, a whole lot of that, okay? And you mean to tell me that, there is that much demand of people actually selling? I don't know. But the whole point about this is, we are in our own pond, and we think that our own pond is the only one with issues, right? We think that base AI is the only one with issues. We think that Pepecoin is the only one with issues. But even the big top dog, right, like Bitcoin, we're seeing that, there's things going on in the background, just like everything else that we're not privy to, that, it just manipulation at its best. And yes, this was, May 6th, so this was a couple of weeks ago, but it still bears mentioning because there's been this concern about Bitcoin for quite some time, right? Because there's been so much demand buying it that people are wondering, okay, where are the sellers coming from? And you can't tell me, most of the holders are retail. You can't tell me that retail is actually selling absolutely all this stuff, because the miners are not producing it. I don't know, food for thought there, but just saying, Base AI, Pepecoin are not the only ones that are having, struggles, right? Some people think that Bitcoin could be, being manipulated like hardcore. But anywho, just wanted to mention that. Okay, next. So Drew Drewtility posted this and super bullish. And he was mentioning here that there was a social media influencer with more than 7 million followers in Kekspace. Okay, this was almost a week ago. All right. So apparently they had a good meeting or whatever. We simply let the fudders shake first. And, this is a lot. Okay, this is a lot of people. Right. And if you take what, a 10% of this is what, 700,000 people. So just take 1% of this, right? And you're looking at 70,000 people, right? If 70,000 people would actually get into Kek space and they would buy 420 Pepecoins, right? To not just be an NFT, sorry, an NPC player, then I mean that would actually bring quite a bit of demand, right? And quite a bit of liquidity. But it doesn't end just here, right? It isn't only this one influencer with more than 7 million followers, but there was another one here also, okay, in Kek space as well, that had more than 4 million followers. So now you're looking at 11 million followers, okay, that could potentially be influenced to join Kek space. And again, to get into Kek space, right, it's free. But if you want to partake of, the missions, the quest, the hunting for eggs, yada yada yada, and then of course everything else that's gonna be added to it when the next updates come out, you need to be holding 420 Pepecoins, which again, it continues. The entry price is what now, less than $250, because Pepecoin is what, 40 something cents. We just saw that. And so anyways, the whole point is, if 100,000 people actually join, I know we're dreaming right now, but I think that when the perfect storm brews together, and we'll get some other updates that are going to entice people to really, really want to join, then yeah, we could potentially be seeing some crazy moves. And I think this could potentially, especially if these influencers really enjoy their time in Kek space, boy, yeah, grab on, strap in. It could be pretty wild. And my suspicion is, but I'm not entirely sure, and I think Tyler Durden also holds Pepecoin, and he knows about it. But this was May 6th, so about 2 weeks ago. He was playing, it says here, currently playing a game I absolutely was addicted to as a kid when family home got a secondhand PC. And this looks, okay, a little similar to the way that Pepecoin, Kek space works. So, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy is one influencer that's actually been exposed to Kek space, and that could be pretty cool. And last but not least, before I let you guys go, I want you guys to watch this video. It's very short, 11 seconds. And it says here, I think this changed my life. And so you have this frog. You have this frog that is all the way up here, up on this wall. And it says, the frog leaps, not knowing where it will land, trusting in the journey. And that's pretty much everybody that's been a part of Pepecoin Base AI. This is us. I mean, we're just looking down here. We're not entirely sure what this is going to entail, right? But we're hoping that this is Kekhalla, right? And you'll see that his journey is very bumpy and not the best one. Sometimes you'll see him with, upside down, but ultimately he makes it to his destination. And he just takes the leap, right? He goes down, it started out pretty good, and then it just went boop, 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 boop. And, that's pretty much what the, this run has been, right? We tumble. First we started out good, then we tumbled, and then eventually we make it to our final destination. And I sure hope that is going to be the case, right? That we end up arriving to that point, right? Of our lives that we've been fighting for, especially for our families, right? Hopefully being able to be financially free, whatever the case is, go on vacation with family, just being able to just, break the chains of the 9 to 5. Those are the things that keep me focused, and I continue to move forward. As much FUD as there is out there, especially surrounding based AI and all that. I continue to just stay the course, continue just moving forward, and and honestly just hope for the best. But just like this frog here, ultimately I do feel that we're gonna be okay. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. I know some people have not been happy, especially because of the price of of these projects. But once prices start turning around and things start to look a little better, more people will listen to this. The unfortunate part is that these are truly the better times to get into projects, right? When they're cheaper than when they're that much higher. I think I started making videos when Bitcoin was at, what's it to say, maybe 40 something thousand. I don't recall. I don't remember well. And we're looking at $107,000 Bitcoin. And even buying Bitcoin was hard because everybody was saying that it was just gonna completely crash. And I'm glad that I didn't listen to all those people, and I continue to stack, and we're a better place today. But anyways, guys, thank you so much again, and I'll see ya in the next video. Bye bye.